everybody. Welcome to your horoscopes for this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic, and before we get started, I just want to take this time to wish all of you in the United States a very happy Thanksgiving this week. You know, I'm going to be on vacation all week long to celebrate the holiday, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful time doing whatever it is that you are doing this week. And we have some very interesting horoscopes for the week of the holiday. So we're going to go ahead and get right going. And we're going to get started as usual with Aries. Get ready for an awesome week, guys. It's been rough. That T-square between Uranus and Pluto has been a nightmare. It's still there, of course. It's going to be there for a while. But we do have some things to kind of help us out and give us a little bit of a boost this week. And we're going to get started with the fire trines between the moon as it starts off the week, Venus all week long, and the sun towards the end of the week, all moving into Sagittarius and all moving into trine position with Uranus. And this is actually a good thing. It's a good aspect, and it's going to open up some amazing opportunities for you guys. First things first, the focus, because of Uranus's placement, is really about the self, and in some cases, the past at the same time. This is about the foundation of what makes you you, and it's these things that are going to project you forward when it comes to your career goals and other goals or projects that you may have for long-term goals. Education, things like that, furthering your education are all favorable this week. But it's about, letting the old stuff go for a while and progressing forth into new ventures. And it has been really difficult the past few weeks. So this energy is beautiful to get you started and boosted this week. And it's probably going to keep on going into next week, or maybe even a couple of weeks as these planets move through. Mercury is not going to be part of this trine this week, but next week it definitely will be. So your communication is going to get a boost also. You have something to look forward to there next week. But other than that, we're looking at, by the end of this weekend, you'll probably be celebrating because things are moving along quite nicely. So tap into that energy, do what you got to do, be awesome. Everything is looking absolutely beautiful this week. And you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, this week is time to get your thinking caps on and explore some new ideas and possibilities. We've been looking at out with the old and on with the new as far as thought patterns and mindsets. This week is a beautiful opportunity to look at some new ideas and not just think up these new ideas, but put them into action. This is one of the things that Tauruses are absolutely great at, not just the coming up with the ideas, but also in putting them into action. We need our earth signs around to make sure that we put things into action. Things are easy if you think they are. So don't put too many boundaries on it. Don't put too many, I can't do this because of this, or I can't do this because of that. Eliminate those thoughts and instead embrace thoughts like, well, if I can't do it this way because of this, I have to find a new way to do it. Don't stop yourself. Go around it or ask for the help or whatever it is that you may need to do in order to get these ideas going. But these are brilliant ideas that have been going around in your mind for a while. You want to actually put them into action. So this week is really all about not just coming up with those brilliant ideas, but actually starting the process of doing these things, whatever it is. I am really, especially for those of you who are writers, seeing a lot of writing going on. So put the pen to the paper and just allow those thoughts and feelings to come out. If you feel that maybe these ideas, you don't have these ideas, put the pen to paper and just see what happens. But you have a chance to make great things happen for yourselves this week if you're willing to do the work and put your mind to it in the correct way. So you guys have a beautiful week with that. Gemini, feeling as if your foundation is on shaky ground can project out throughout everything that you do this week. And we're talking about your foundation or things are not feeling right at home. Rather than avoiding the issue, it's time to actually deal with it. This involves communication. This may even involve expressing your feelings to a certain extent. Of course, you don't have to go overly emotional about it. Geminis don't necessarily like to do that. But go to the person. State your piece, rather than running from the fight or walking away from the fight, I should say. Not saying that you Geminis are cowards and you run from the fight, but you have a tendency to not want to deal with emotional issues, and therefore will just sort of walk away from it. Now's the time to actually really face it, really work on it, and see what kind of possibilities you can come up with in terms of those relationships. Also, this week is a really good week to make sure that things are running smoothly in your home base, because when it comes down to it, when it's not, what tends to happen is it winds up affecting everything else around you. So your career, different relationships, all different kinds of things are affected by it. And one little pebble leads to huge ripples all the way around. You don't want that to happen. This time, deal with the pebble before it becomes a major ripple. And if you do that, the results will be amazing. I guarantee it. Also, the part of fortune brings you luck Friday and Saturday. So it gives you opportunities at the end of the week to see these results. Don't run from it. Face it head on, and you may be surprised at the outcome. It may even be not what you think it is. So you guys have a great week with that. Cancer, it's all about those you love this week and being surrounded by that love. And it's truly an awesome feeling to be sitting around surrounded by those loved ones and just taking the moment to look around, see them all, and feel that love just swell up inside of you. And you Cancers as the nurturers of the sign, or the maternal, I would say the maternals of the sign, really feel that love on a deep level, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. So take the time to really feel that love, because it's what makes it worth it for you to do all the things that you do for all of these lovely people. It's about family time. It's about coming together. It's about getting along with each other, eliminating the stress of the relationships, and just enjoying each other's company. This week is a beautiful week for that. No moon, no planets, nothing but just calm, beautiful waters to be able to sit down and really just enjoy this holiday this week, especially if you are enjoying the holiday. And if you're not enjoying the holiday, then enjoy the peacefulness of having those people gathering around you, or maybe not arguing with them, just coexisting with them. It's a beautiful opportunity just to spend time with those you love this week. So you guys have an amazing time with that, because I know that it's about time you got that. Leo, this week is the last week of Mercury's square with Jupiter in your sign. It's right there in conjunction with Saturn. That Jupiter-Saturn square has been kind of a pain in the behind for the last few months. And this week is the last week that Mercury will be involved in that. Unfortunately, just as Mercury leaves, or I should say the last day that Mercury is squared with Jupiter, Jupiter is also in opposition with the moon on Wednesday and Thursday. If you're in the U.S., this would be Thanksgiving Day, guys. So unfortunately, what does that mean for us? Well, what it really means for you guys is that if emotions run high on those days, or reminders of the past, or reminders of people that are in your past come up, you'll feel that memory well up inside of you, and you might even feel it slide down your cheek there a little bit. And it's okay to feel that way. And that's what this is all about, is being okay feeling that way. Oftentimes we get upset and we start to cry and we get angry with ourselves. Why do I feel this way? Well, you feel that way because you loved somebody at one time. And one of the things that I teach in my personal development classes about love is that you can't truly feel it without feeling the pain of love as well. Because love is, in its beautiful form, very painful. Grief being the best example of that pain. So embrace it. Understand that the reason why you feel this way is because you loved and were loved by this person. And it's okay to feel bad or to miss them for a moment. It's part of what's incorporating them into your celebrations or your time this week. So, and with the Lilith in your sign demanding change, that is what the change is all about. It's about not running from your emotions. It's actually about embracing them and understanding why you feel that way. and so that you can work through it and kind of sort of move on from it. In situations like grief, it takes many, many, many years to work through that, and it is okay. And that's what it's all about. It's about being okay with it. You Leos have beautiful hearts. You love completely, and that is what makes you guys beautiful people. So whatever you guys do this week, have an absolutely beautiful time doing it. Virgo, you may find yourself focusing on relationships this week, and whether you're currently in a relationship or wishing that you were in a relationship, it's important to remember to avoid nitpicking every little detail in order to avoid overwhelming frustration. Now, this happens whether you're in a relationship or not. If you're currently looking for a relationship and you haven't found one yet, it may be because you're way too specific on what you want in a relationship, and in your mind, you may be creating somebody that really just doesn't exist. And Virgos have a tendency to be a little bit perfectionists when it comes to that. If you're in a relationship and having some issues, it may be that you're having a difficult time melding with somebody else's personality. So it's all about kind of loosening up there and being a little bit more accepting of other people's characteristics and not just what the Virgo requires. When it comes down to it, Virgos have a tendency to be so nitpicky that other people have a hard time being around them. So this week is all about eliminating that, kind of sort of going with the flow a little bit instead of having to schedule everything out, and being okay with plans changing or things happening that you didn't expect, which is a big deal for Virgos. But for this week, it's all about challenging yourself to be able to do that. And I guarantee you, you'll have a lot of success if you can. So you guys make it a great week. Libra, if you got money on your mind this week, there's probably a good reason for it, as your focus is mainly on finances and personal renewal this week. And when it comes to money, Libras can go one of two ways. Either extremely responsible, nickel and diming themselves to death, or completely the opposite, where they overspend too much. And occasionally what happens is you wind up nickeling and diming yourself and doing the responsible thing for so long, can't take it anymore, and then you go a little crazy and you wind up overspending. Here's a little something that you can do to avoid going to each extreme, and that is to do something or a little bit of something for yourself every single time. So let's just say that every single time you get paid, you go out and you get a little something for you. It gives you a present for doing a good job because you're the one doing the hard work, but at the same time, you're not going overboard either. And also, take the time to make sure that you put aside money or save money for the bigger purchases. This will ensure that you can get those things and not leave them so far out of reach that you're never going to get them. That creates a lot of frustration for the Libra, as the Libra tends to want what they want and not want to take no for an answer there. This is a way that you can have what you want, but not go overboard to the point where you're actually endangering your security. And that security is also very important for the Libra. So find a little bit of a balance between responsibility and your wants, your needs and your wants, because you can have both if you really want to, guys. So make it a great week, Libras. Scorpio, Mercury spends his last days in your sign this week, enjoying Saturn square with Jupiter, making it very difficult to voice your needs and concerns around specific goals that you have. And these are not necessarily just career goals, but there is definitely a communication issue there going on when it comes to these goals. Also, incorporating new things into your schedule, or you may find a little bit of a scheduling issue this week with that square with Jupiter as well. Specifically about adding to that schedule. You may want to add some new things to do throughout the week, and you just can't because of whatever. Luckily for you guys, Saturn is almost out of Scorpio. We've only got maybe a month, maybe a little bit less than a month, and then you guys can finally have some time where you can just relax without having the heaviness of that Saturn responsibility sort of weighing you down there in Scorpio, because it has been for a while. And that's good. And also, it'll move out of that square position with Jupiter as well, so it won't create such heavy difficulties. But this week, what it comes down to is just being open. If you're looking at, wanting to do something, don't be so focused on it that nothing else is going to be okay. You might have to rearrange a little bit. You might have to actually say, okay, I can't have this, but I can do it this way. Or you might have to wait. God forbid. You actually might have to wait a little bit longer before you can get what you want. Universal timing is everything. And if you have to wait, there's a good reason for it. So keep that in mind. It'll lessen the frustration a little bit. As Mercury moves out of your sign, things do calm down just a little bit. The square is not quite as heavy. And the awesome news about Saturn, like I said, is that it's on its way out. It was, like I said, probably about another 3 or 4 weeks or so. So whatever you guys do this week, have an awesome time doing it. Sagittarius, happy birthday to all the Sagittarians that are celebrating birthdays this week. I happen to know several already. The moon actually sets you up at the beginning of the week, starting off the week in your sign and trining with Uranus, making old ways of doing things very important. And really important is that you stay true to you. Whoever you are. That's the main thing for Sagittarius. You're going to do something, do it as you and not somebody else. Now, that's not saying that a lot of Sagittarians will do that, because a lot of Sagittarians are very unique in the fact that they do stay true to themselves. But make sure that you're really staying true to your values and not compromising any of them at all, because there's no reason for that. We've got the moon, the sun, Venus, and towards the end of the week, Mercury moves into your sign. So the party is in Sagittarius here, and that's creating some beautiful possibilities. At the same time, though, it's also causing some difficulties. A couple of times this week, especially towards the end of the week, as the moon moves into Pisces and moves into conjunction with Neptune, and all of these planets square Neptune and the moon, creating a bit of an issue. Now, like I said in the beginning, stay true to yourself. But at the same time, you don't want to be the problem either, right? And when I say you don't want to be the problem, what I mean is holding on to old stubbornnesses or holding on to old mindsets, that makes you the problem. That's where you're getting in your way. So if one of those things comes up, like, for example, I've never been really good at this, that's how you're getting in your way. Omit that I've never been really good at this and change that to, well, let me give it a shot, because you never know. I might be able to rock this. And that's what it comes down to as far as old mindsets. You want to eliminate them as much as possible, or at least redirect them so they're not holding you back. Don't do what you normally do, no matter how difficult it is. If a situation usually causes you to get angry, stop before you get angry and say, okay, why is that consistently making me angry? And don't look at the other person. Look at yourself. Why is this consistently making me angry? Being able to look at that for you will actually change things when a situation comes up again. Looking at the other person and their lack of change doesn't change the situation. So think about that, you guys, and have an awesome week this week. Capricorn, so many changes lately and so little time to even notice, especially this week. With Mars still in your sign and spending another couple of weeks in your sign, the energy is moving to get things done. And Mars is in a beautiful place, actually, this week to help project you forward when it comes to your goals and different plans that you have, specifically career goals and plans, and projecting you forward there. It's been literally one thing after another. It's like being downloaded. Make sure that you don't overwork yourself, overstress yourself out, of course, especially if you're here and you're doing a holiday this week. You don't want to give yourself too much to do and wind up just completely and totally exhausting yourself. Give yourself a couple of days off, or limit your time to all of that work and creativity so that you can enjoy other aspects of your life too. As Pluto is still there and is going to be there for several years, unfortunately, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. He's there for a while. Lots of changes are taking place with Pluto, but one of the main things about Pluto is Pluto represents your own sense of power. Grab on to that personal power because that's what's going to project you forward, especially this week and the rest of the time that Mars is in your sign. Yes, Pluto is squared with Uranus there and will be because of this. There's several different squares going on, and that does create some difficulties. Those difficulties are all in your mind. Don't question why you're doing. Don't question if you're supposed to do it. Just do it. That's how you overcome that little bit of a discomfort there between those two planets. Basically, challenges are all about teaching you how to do things a different way. And that's all they are. They don't actually halt or stop us from doing anything. So whatever you do this week, go big or go home and have a fantastic week. Aquarius. This week, we're kind of sort of moving into a focus that is not exactly comfortable. And I know that there have been several weeks like this. This, in the next couple of weeks, will be the end of it. And then we can go to focus on more exciting things and not just all of our internal stuff. Because internal stuff for Aquarius is not easy. And that's what it's all about this week. The focus is basically on our secret selves, the things that Aquarians have a tendency to bury very, very, very deeply and not allow or share with other people. Now, oftentimes, all of us human beings are faced with this position of looking into ourselves, the old ways of thinking, the old ways of doing things, the old ways of communicating, in order to look in that mirror and see just what we're doing to halt our own progress. And this is a very, very, very deep look on the inside. On top of that, the moon moves into Aquarius Wednesday and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday, I should say. Emotions are really going to shake up the routine as the moon moves into opposition with Jupiter, meaning that it basically halts your progress altogether. And when Aquarians have a tendency to feel things deeply emotionally, they also tend to be hermits and kind of sort of hide away from the world for a while. And what this does is if you have a regularly, a schedule that's you've been going pretty good on so far, it's going to completely halt that and you'll just be stopped. And you'll need to take a couple of days off, and that's okay. The bottom line here is if you're feeling it, you're meant to feel it, and there's a reason. Find the root of why the particular situation bothers you. What is it from the past that mimics this particular situation? Because that's what you want to work on. That's what you want to help eliminate the feelings around that situation so that you can move on. And if the situation comes up again, it won't be as difficult for you. Not the most fun for Aquarius, but I guarantee once you eliminate those things, it does get better after that. And we always have things that we need to eliminate. So regardless of what happens, Aquarius, you guys are awesome. And have a great week. And finally, Pisces. Difficulties are going to arise this week as Neptune moves into square position with Venus, the Sun, and the Moon moves into Pisces there on Saturday, also moving into square position with Venus and the Sun, creating some issues there, especially when it comes to who you are and how you want to actually achieve your long-term goals, especially career goals or goals that are really, really close to your heart. And it may feel as if you yourself are getting in the way of being able to actually achieve these goals. Now, this is an emotional thing, and a lot of Pisces can, feel things very deeply emotionally. Don't let the emotions run away with you. That's what's going to get in your way more than anything, because it's not you that's getting in the way, but how you feel about it and how you allow your feelings to perceive what's actually happening. So, yes, it's okay to feel. Just don't live there is what this week is all about. There may be some difficulties there, and that's okay. Difficulties are challenges. That's all they are. They're there to say, how bad do you really want this? So you can move forward from it, because it's not going to get handed to you, and life isn't easy. If you feel you can't communicate your needs and desires in a way that others will understand, rather than shutting down and not communicating at all, it's time to look at using or communicating in a different way. So if the way that you're normally doing it is not working, take a step back, come back, and communicate it in a different way. See how that works. But the truth is, if you keep doing things in the same old way and it's not working, it's not going to work. That's the definition of insanity. What it comes down to is, if you can get through the challenge, that's what makes these things worth it. That's what makes these achievements worth it. And I know you can do it. So have a fantastic week with that, guys. Thank you for watching. As usual, I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Of course, check us out at fairymothersdream.webs.com. We've got the Great Fairy Wing store with some lovely jewelry. We also have all of our readings and services, mine, as well as Grateful Days and Wings to Source services. Check out Fairy Mother services for the 13-card tarot for 2015. 4 more weeks after this week, and then it's gone until next year. There's no more 2015 reading. December 31st at midnight is the last time that you can get this reading. And for the next month, I'm doing a special couples reading. Give me 2 names, and I will draw 26 cards. Actually, I'll double those cards to do 2 for a couple for the same price as a single reading. And you're only going to get that through the end of December, because next year, couples readings are going to be more expensive. So try it out this year while it's still $35 and see how that works for you. Thank you for listening. You guys have an awesome holiday if you're celebrating the holiday. If you're not celebrating the holiday, have an awesome week, because every single morning you can wake up and be awesome. Have a great week, guys.